In terms of the Steeler game, I don't think I can emphasize this any more than this. They broke the fan base. Buffalo broke our fan base. There's always been Tomlin defenders. There always has been. Whether it's people on First Take, former Steelers, what have you, have always defended him. I think this game broke everyone. We got people like Ben Roethlisberger saying it might be time to move on. James Harrison, that you want to talk about an entertaining podcast? I recommend that. That dude's ripping his shirt out and just crying for something to happen with this team. Credit to Buffalo. Ugly first half. It's kind of been their MO this year. Just they don't really play two halves of football. But they got it together that second half. Joey Bosa absolutely crushed Aaron Rodgers. I'm surprised he came back. I think Rodgers might have been concussed. Who knows? But offense looked miserable, as it usually has this season. And yeah, it's just, yeah, you want to fire Tomlin. I mean, honestly, it's gotten to that point where both sides, I think, do need a change. I know I've been saying that a lot, but they both just, Steelers need younger offensive minds, and Tomlin needs like
Dayball.
that. Maybe not that, but there's not that problem. Is there's not a lot of Ben Johnsons in the world that you would really want, but also too, Mike Tomlin kind of needs that Andy Reid arc. Remember Philly? They wanted him out because he was getting stale. He goes to Kansas City, and it took him a little bit. He had to get a little certain quarterback to do it, but now look how good he's doing. Tomlin might need that. So, but the problem is we're still in this division because this division is dog shit. If we beat Baltimore somehow, some way, and win this division, they're not going to fire us because we made the playoffs. We're going to be 9-8 again, 9-8 Super Bowl. And the crazy thing is, Cincy's season's not over. They have a chance. If they run the table, or even if they lose one more game, I feel like even 8-9 could get you in the playoffs in the AFC North. That is insane to think about. But they look better than the Steelers and Ravens right now. So this is just, again, that video just perfectly signifies the scene in Pittsburgh. They're booing Renegade. Renegade, how could you boo that? It's an amazing song. You know why? Because of this dog crap performance by the offense and the defense, too. I don't know, Quinn, whose defense had a worse rushing game in terms of defense. You or me. Because we also gave up 144 to James Cook. He was running all over us. Buffalo was literally running the exact same plays, and they still couldn't stop him. It was embarrassing to watch. So that's why in the intro, you and I are miserable. Because, yeah, it's been rough. But you're 8-4. I'm sitting here 500 again.
So here's a question. For the Steelers, how would you feel if you fire Tomlin and let's just say hired, I'll say Dayball, because he was really good in Buffalo with Josh Allen. He didn't do so well in New York, but then New York isn't a great place for football right now for either team. And I mean, we saw what happened to Daniel Jones when he literally just left New York. But let's say you hire Brian Dayball, offensive mind, creative. He took the Giants to his playoffs in the first season of his time there.
Yeah.
And let's say, I believe Arch Manning has fallen in the draft a bit. Let's say that you're able to get Arch Manning. How would you feel about that?
At least we're trying something new. That's all I'll say about that. Because it just feels like the Steelers think that they're a quarterback away from a Super Bowl. And that is not the case. They're way more than a quarterback away. You can't just put an older quarterback piece to a puzzle and just think it's going to work. It's not. You are not a quarterback away. Russ is not going to work. Rodgers is not going to work. Stop being lazy and cheap and cut ties with everyone. Cut it clean and draft. Invest in the draft. The problem is we're 6-6. We're not going to be good enough to get a top pick. That's why we want to have a bad year if we're going to have one so we can get a quarterback. So I just want something different because it feels like the movie Groundhog Day right now. It's the same thing every single season. That's why we're frustrated.
I mean, you're more than a quarterback away, but I think like a young quarterback who's talented would do a lot for the organization as well. Because, like you said, it's just all old quarterbacks right now. There's nothing new, exciting. Like, look
But
at
there's
what
not a
Drake
lot of
May and a head
Josh
coach.
Allens and Patrick Mahomes type of
No,
draft picks in the world right now. That's the
it's
problem.
true. But like, look what happened with like Drake May and the Patriots and Mike Rabel.
Yeah,
And of course, there's not Drake Mays everywhere either. But it's just, I feel like I'd rather have my team draft more young quarterbacks than start just going after
100%.
random old guys, because then there's a lot more chance of success there.